Hey everybody. Oh, looks kind of weird. I think we're okay. I have a makeshift tower of hold my camera going on right now. Seems like when I go up, the dark goes down. See that line? You guys see that line? There's a line going. Okay. Well, we're just gonna have to do it this way for now. I need to get a tripod. I'm really hoping the cat doesn't run into it and right into. Yeah, he's ready to go. Yeah, hi. Okay. So yeah, hey guys, just hopping on live with Jesus. It's really funny. Lori asked for me to, for some insight onto really what the post was that I did with Tecumseh. So that was really fun. Hey, there she is, Lori. I was just mentioning the post. So I made the event, and then it was just like I just started typing in. I'm like, well, I'm gonna go live with JC, and then he went live with JC. So he put a lot of energy into it and spin. It's kind of fun. Sundays are usually my sort of relax and like meditate and chill days. I think it's fallen backwards. But I'm realizing I got a lot of time I can start doing stuff too. So yeah, so I was just low keyed, and then thinking about it, really trying to meditate. And what was fun was Tecumseh came in, and that was really cool. I need something behind this so it doesn't keep moving. I don't know. Hold on. Let's just go with it. All right. Sorry, guys. If it falls over, don't worry. You'll see my ceiling. It was fun to have Tecumseh. Okay, so he's here now, and he was saying how it's like how we. It's funny because I asked him. I said, okay. I said, did you really actually say that? And he started laughing. And he's like, well, I mean, we all were saying it, and then I got the idea of the white devil, right? Which, in the Native American, and since we, the white man came and then all that stuff, so, they refer to us, that was one of the terms that they used. So in a sense, there was so many things that he's saying that they were just, it's like being full, pro this and pro that, but then you're clashing. There was so many things that he and they as people just saw and tried to, portray, and, everything that, when the Europeans came over, so, he says, it's real. So did you say? And he says, yeah, many of them were saying that, because it was something they all saw. It was so silly. It was so, they were so in tune with nature, so in tune with, all of those things. And then, so what the white man worshipped was so abstract from us as a people, and what we understood as all of life, not just not limited, not the all. He's telling me about the Great Spirit right now. They call it the Great Spirit, and they sort of worship, if you were, and they prayed to and stuff. Hey. Okay. You know where it's at? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, go for it. Sorry. Let's see. Where was I? So they were all just very. It was so new to us that we had trouble understanding why. And while so many things were apparent to us because of the belief structure, it wasn't apparent to anyone else. And he's saying, and it's funny, it took this long for, something like that to be able to be posted or said in again, in relative terms, because, this long, and who's, Ascended Masters already kind of knew this stuff years ago. Okay. Yep, there it goes. So the other thing I wanted to do with JC, and what he wanted to do was say, so he wanted me to start trying to wash a can. Oh, hey, okay, that's okay, Lori. Yeah, totally catch it back. I don't know how long it'll be, but I'm definitely gonna channel JC right now for a bit, probably about a half an hour, I imagine, at least. Because he wanted me to start by talking about, oh, Lori, hey, you know what, while you're here, we were talking about with the group that we're not able to invite anybody on live anymore. If you are around at all right now, can you send me an invite at all? Do you even have that option? I don't know if you can type right now. I was going to check it with William. He might hop on here in a bit. I sent him the time I was getting on, but I guess Lorraine hasn't been able to do it. So we might have to change something for the course. So we're looking at Zoom. So yeah, I don't see one to invite. Your icon's up here, but I'm clicking on it and nothing's happening. I got camera, flash, what's this, to invite, right? Okay, so let's invite. But that's just to get them here. Yeah, I don't see the option to, I got nothing. All I got is the finish button. So, okay. Okay, yeah, that's fine. I really think they stopped doing that. I don't know why. William's trying to get the, he messaged them and he said he's really trying to figure out. Yeah, it's pretty cool. So, but it's gonna cause like an extra step, whereas it's all hosted on Facebook. Zoom's really only for calls, so you can't host really, all the events and do all these things. I mean, we can probably do a schedule of some kind, but it might take more, and we're trying to really make it easy, right? So yeah, that's okay. That's good feedback. So JC, he wanted me to talk about when we started talking when I was, I don't know how long ago it was, I say a year ago, but so much happens in a year. Especially when you're, right? when your spiritual growth just starts taking off. And we would laugh a lot. Like, I would laugh a lot because there's so many contradictions and, all the things that we go through as humans now. It's like, he went through them too. And I always used to laugh at how, me personally, I try to share things with people, and I try to uplift people back into love and just, share my, and it can be hard for any of us, right, in life. And then he just chimes in and he's like, yeah, you haven't been, crucified. It's one of those things. And we just started laughing so hard because it's so true. Zoom can be broadcast to Facebook too, but anyone who goes live would have to be on the Zoom call. But yeah, okay, so that'll be cool. Yeah, either way, we'll have to hop in Zoom. We were talking about maybe we'll make a one account or something, where then we could just pass that info to everybody, and then we can all just log in, like, just in case anybody wanted to go live. So then that way it would be live in the group. But then we would all definitely need, we'd need to link that, yeah, so that everybody got the notifications and stuff. Although, we can still do events on Facebook. So I think it'll work out. It's going to be kind of, wonky or something at first here. Until maybe we'll find something better than Zoom. But that's cool. We were talking about that, and I didn't know that it could be broadcasted. So yeah, that might add another layer. Cool. So yeah, but okay. So JC, he's saying, there's a lot of sort of misunderstanding around what happened and why with him. He prepared his whole life, and he spent his whole life, spreading the good word. Um, and he kind of already knew people weren't gonna accept it, and even during his journey, my journey, okay, even during my journey, I knew, and I was meeting people who were not fully understanding. This is why it all began. This is why it all happened, because as soon as I started to do things that were of significance in the physical realm that people could understand, that's when everything got weird. You know, nobody worries about you when you're just a messenger, just, you know, and you keep low key, you stay a human, and you just go around, and, you know, because even nowadays he's referencing, you know, we have religions and people go around and they try to, you know, talk about, you know, and that's really lighthearted. It's really not invasive, you know, it's really not, so people don't notice as much. And once you really start to do something, important people will notice, and important people, and people who wanted to keep the status quo. And that's why it happened. It was not a matter of them, the kings and queen, you know, or whomever, then the leaders did not, they knew he was telling the truth to some degree. They knew. So the common people, you know, and so he's relating to how all of that just, you know, people start talking, and then people hear word, and then this, and it just spreads, you know, like wildfire. You know, once he starts doing that stuff, you know, when he keeps going back to changing water into wine. That must have been a significant moment, because I'm sure you made everybody happy with that one. And you fed everybody. Everybody had a good night. Yeah. You know, because he did all those other things, you know, walking on water, and, you know, raised from the dead, right? So what about those? Right, and, you know, only so many people were there for his resurrection. Only so many people, you know, were there with the water, you know, but when it came to that event with the water, the wine, you know, the Last Supper, or the whatever, you know, was it the Last Supper? And he's giving me, yeah, it was that day, the same day with the water, and then not the same as the bread and the fish. Okay, yeah, no, that was just helping feeding people. So, hey, messages. What's up? No, that's okay, Lori. Distraction's okay. You know, when you get used to this, you know, you know, they never leave, so you can always hop right back. No worries on the distraction. I actually brought it up, so I did want to test that out too in my own channel. So I'm actually glad you're here. You're like, you know, the only one. So thanks. What is that? Oh my God, I'm just noticing how it's coinciding with the journaling today. People don't want to listen. Yeah, to your advice, they just don't want to hear. Although they do want to feel better, they don't want to hear that the changes need to be made within. Exactly. That is 100% true, because everyone wants change. Everyone is looking to evolve. Everyone wants a better life. But a lot of people don't know where their own, you know, it's action and reaction systems. It's proactive and reactive. Sorry. I'm just getting messages. Yeah, and there's a lot of layers to that, you know, and you know what we're doing. It's that's why putting more information out there is better than less information, because somebody's gonna catch something, you know, something's gonna catch the person, you know, their guides are gonna say, look at that one, you can believe that, right? And then maybe that'll be the seed, or the way out, you know, the tunnel to the light, or whatever you want to call it, that, you know. And what's light? Light is information, right? If it's dark, black, no information. So literally light, information, photons, all that stuff, right? So you can really, and that opens it up to the way you approach people, because you can really talk about so many different things in so many aspects and in so many different ways. Because everybody wants to feel better, so you can always just say, "Oh, that dark, negative, blah," like just heaviness, or something. Like, you can relate them, that way, and I think that's gonna help a lot. That's why. Yeah, that's why the more of us, the more the merrier. I swear this thing keeps getting slid back. I keep moving it up. Okay, so what about the supper? Yeah, crucifixion. We gotta talk about that. Okay. Okay. You were ready. I don't know. He was ready for it. I was ready. Okay, let me do him. Let me let him. I was ready for what was to come, although the experience was most definitely something different than I had ever imagined. I don't recommend it for anyone. They're hilarious, I tell you. Yeah, he had been. I had been prepared. See, I can't do me and him at the same time. Sometimes I pop out, pop in. Okay, go ahead. I had been preparing my whole life for this, whether I knew it or not. As a child, I did learn early about my mission and what I was here to do. But that didn't mean that makes it any easier. Many of you want to know your mission also, and it is important to know it. But that is why it is also, perhaps maybe even more important, to realize your mission yourself. Because then you know what to do, you know what you're here to do, you know why you're here, and then you are protected from any outside influence. You are protected because because you're aligned with Source, you're aligned with yourself, you're aligned with all of us, and you're just here to live and serve and do your mission. And there's a lot of emotion on the human world, so density, intensity, dramas, these things, because of the feeling, the senses within the body. It is not so easy to be detached from them, and this is true. That is why all things happen with and to humans, and then we need to heal, and we need to do these things, and this is the spice of life. So it is not meant to be looked at in a negative way, and we have said this many times before. Your negativity is only here to help you. Okay, so what about there is not much more to say on the crucifixion part itself, aside from icky details, which is not the point of the vibration to be brought or understood. But we do want to connect the lines for anyone who may misunderstand what had happened. It was not easy for my family, for my friends. They probably had a much harder time of it than I did, even as I was going through it physically, feeling every bit of it. Because I was resolved, like a samurai. Okay, so samurais, for those of you who don't know, which I'm sure we all know about samurais, they're the Lord's retainer, and then they know that they're meant to serve, and they're there to die, and that's not to put it that way, because that's the same as the idea that, all of us humans come here and we're all just gonna die anyway. I mean, it's just about looking at it that way. But a samurai was resolved. They knew what their mission was. They knew why they were there, and they had 100%, dedication to that role. And so that is why a samurai doesn't fear death, right? That is why what is the Bushido code? I don't know. I want to get all specific. But that's what they do. They're resolved in their death, because they will and they have to, by their job, and will, die for their king or emperor, which is right what it would have been. This can be applied to all of you in all of your aspects, in all of your lives, in every single way. Be resolved on what you want and where you are going and what you're choosing. Don't get distracted by the journey itself. It's okay to stop and smell the flowers along the way, but the wheels keep turning, the path keeps moving forward. Okay, and so there's a lot of people in our world that are trying to put together these things, which is very important to have the desire to know your spiritual roots, your family, your ancestors, all of this, all of us, all of you who are up here with us, because we're all one. And so any seeking is good, but just like the path, you don't want to get stuck smelling the roses and forget where you are going. It was a much different time and way of consciousness back then, he's saying. So while there may have been a bit more density as far as emperors and as far as the physicality of the ages of the world that was in, and the heaviness and but it was still magical, is what he's saying. It was still mystical. It was still, because of the lack, people were more connected because of the localized communities, in a sense. Now we have trains and, everything, planes, social media. Back then, we believed in magic still. Or at least, some of us did. And it's not that different from how life was lived, necessarily, or, human interactions with each other. Not so different, but different energetically, whole different belief systems, for us, as much as we know now, humans, we know Christianity as a thing that was, 2,000 years ago. Let's just say that, And then whereas for him, during his time, it was a very different, he's telling me Zoroaster just popped in right now. Maybe that's what maybe that's what is that what people were looking at? He's saying that's what the truth seekers were, sort of, that route. Okay. But of course the emperors had their own agenda. I'm asking him if he has anything else to really, say about, what can we glean from your life and your experience, he just keeps saying, like, everything, because it's all connected. Like, I'm getting the feeling of everything, but he's saying it's all connected, and what he wants, perfect. I love it. Okay, I'm gonna go because I can just blab it. Okay, he's saying that who he is and what he stands for, in a general sense, is sort of well understood. right? He was a human being. He was he was a humble human being who lived, but he was connected to the divine, and he could do these things. But he didn't spend his life worried about attaining wealth. He didn't spend his life worried about, getting an iPhone, the next new whatever it was. He was a young boy when he went on his journey. Which, for those times, it's a little different than maybe nowadays. But it didn't mean journeying was any easier. um, but so that idea that, what's happening now and what a lot of people are seeking and sort of want and want is that magic. We want to breathe fire, we want to throw fireballs, we want to, cast spells and this, and that's all great and it's wonderful. But just as they've said through other people and, in times before, is, if instant manifestation was allowed by every single one of you, the world it'd be blown up by now, like easily. I mean, as soon as you have a thought of a giant, a dinosaur, like whatever happened to the T-Rex, there he comes. So he's saying that, that humbleness, if there's something that he would want us to impart on what he means and who he is and the energy and the being and the ray of light, the light being that he is, everything he stood for and everything that he wanted to give to people, right, was their own love back to them, knowing from source who they are, knowing, but people wanted shiny things, the emperors, and they wanted, so there, and okay, that's good. He's saying there's sort of a misunderstanding when it comes to material things, because we're here to enjoy them. We created physicality so we can enjoy it, right? So there's that fine line, right? Yin and yang is balancing the light and the dark within the body. But again, don't stop your path of light to sit and smell the roses for all of eternity. And he says that because that's what, addiction or anything, and you don't have to call it addiction, but, in those cases, you call it that. But even just the repetitive things that humans do every day, where then we're not really changing, moving, we want new things, and then the definition of insanity. So he's saying, that's why living high vibrationally frees you from all that. It's like working out. When you have heaviness, or you just feel like your energy is just, you're condensed, or whatever, or you just need to, get your energy back up because you're too lazy or restless, or too low vibe. As soon as you do it, you kick all that junk off of you. And it doesn't mean that things even go anywhere, because all of your stuff is still in your home. So it's about loving the things that are around you and lifting them up and seeing them as things that are lifting you up, right? This is why we mentioned throwing out things that no longer serve, and no matter what it is, person, place, thing, being. I mean, not just things, but he's giving me sounds, so what you listen to, what you see, everything, and not violently, not resentfully, not, but, and again, when you have heaviness like that in you, you do things to make it flow out of you, because you don't want to hold on to it. So that's all that you have to do. But you can do that in any room in your home. You can do that with any item that you have. You're the balance to your life. So it's up to you to decide what things mean for you. So if anything is around you and you say, you know, why is it there? Um, and in doing so, you restore yourself back to everything that you really truly want and need, because now you don't need anything. Right. Okay, so I'm asking them about, well, okay, so let's say we're spend a whole year straight meditating nonstop, don't even sleep. Okay, well, when do we get to come out of that and then just go do? Okay, exactly. He says whenever you want, you can go do anything you want. That's the free will choice. But how is it making you feel? Is it really good? And if you think of the nature of multidimensionality, which we all are, and there is really no time, nothing at all is ever lost. He's giving me the idea of the earth blowing up. People out there talk about things like, this, that, and the other. And hey, it's not to say that it can't be done and it hasn't been done, but it's all about what your consciousness resonates with. We are here, you guys, humans are here now, excuse me, not to have a doomsday. We've done that. We've tried that. It is new. Physical body ascension in such a dense place. So it's definitely challenging. But, how come, yeah, he's giving me that example. How is it that some guy can, you can hop on a YouTube or you can hop on anything media, and you see some guy who's, or a girl, whatever, they're living their life and they're just, they're at the beach and they're like, man, like because there are coaches out there, life coaches, right? So what separates them from someone who's at home in an apartment sitting on the couch? Honestly, there's no difference between the person per se. He's saying the difference is it's not just up here because it's all connected, but it's because the person vibrates there. So there's a lot of questions that people have about all different layers about the body, the soul, the this, and how do we get there, and how do we do that, and how do we do this. And it's all connected to each other. So you can't do one without the other, but you have to bring your whole entire being to that place. So the first thing, at the least, that must be done is restoration of that connection that we have. And these practices are going to be coming out more and more, and there are already some. There's going to be new ones with new ways that are going to be created, and he's saying vocabulary. He wants me to say the vocabulary is going to help a lot, which I personally I really want to help with the vocabulary too. So yeah, I know. Because the vocabulary is going to change everything. Just about. And your vocabulary will change as everything changes. So the process, it's a full process. You cannot think of things as black and white and do this one thing, do this other thing. But that's not to say you shouldn't do things, right? And again, it's because it's up to you. You're the balance. The world spins around you. Even though you can argue that from from tons of angles, but that's the whole point. Where are you putting yourself? I can put myself in the argumentative state and go back to my human and reference only what I've learned, or I can see what that is, and then I can see what that is, and then I can be like, oh, and you're able to do that when you have that observer, inside you, which you always have, but when you're able to recognize that and go there. And so again, connection is going to be crucial. This is still early in the ascension process here on Earth in your current dimensional time space. So a lot of the initial stages will be the more simpler guidance for people. Body, just, getting people to exercise, getting people to eat better, things like this. And not even just so much those things, because I notice personally when I see people exercise, sometimes they're pushing themselves so hard, and I'm just like, just put it down, it's okay, you look good, and so it's really about getting in tune with your body correctly, especially as you transition and any high vibrational food, programs, diets, whatever, transitions, there's stages, to help our bodies and help our minds too, because our minds are going to purge, our bodies, our emotions, everything's going to purge. I once did a dry fast, for a while, and it was the most healing thing, I've ever experienced physically, and emotionally it wasn't too rocky for me, so I think that wasn't too much different. Mentally it was okay, just had to stay vigilant on, don't eat, but that was cool. And that's okay. And there are going to be a lot of things like this coming out now, and they already are. They're already out there, and it's just going to grow. And he's saying, so what do you want to contribute? I like that, because this is life, and you are here. Stop worrying about what it needs to be. You're already programmed for what it needs to be. It's what you need to be. That's what needs to be. And when we're all being what we need to be, it's going to be a really fun place. It really will. How that's going to happen, yikes. I don't even know. That idea of chaos, or true freedom, I think I said that in my other video talking to my cousin, true freedom, it's just like, that's craziness right now. Like, you mean anybody could just bang into my house right now, and then I could just get in a fight? I mean, it could be the craziest thing in the world, but it's gonna happen, and it's not gonna be that. It's gonna be rough at first, like anything, like changing your diet, and that's why we're here to give the steps, the programs, to wean your body off of that old 3D heavy mental emotional attachments that you think are or that some people think are the only thing that's real, or and that's why when he's saying it's early, there's still lots of people in the world who aren't so connected, or believe in this or believe in that, or don't even believe ghosts are real. We still got some people like that. I think as the generations have gone on, I feel like there's a lot less now than when I was younger. Say 20 years ago, 25 years ago or so. Because I believed in them my whole life. But it's such an interesting thing too. I think I saw, was it Chris's post? Somebody's post where they said how like right now it's 2020, right? So if you think about it, 50 years ago was 1970, and then 50 years from now it's going to be like 2070. Like, we're going to be only so it was really cool when I thought of that. It'll get easier, he says, but it's better to be prepared now. The more prepared we can be, the better. To get it in now, to get started now, and because the old world still has the judgment. Who are you? What are you saying? What are you talking about? You don't know, and this, and then you got to figure everything out, and we got to read the whole scripture book, and we got to read the whole thing, we got to analyze the whole thing, and he's shaking his head, going like, no. No. He's like, it ain't that hard. It ain't that hard. And that's why I love him. I always agree. It's not that hard to just be nice. That's what I always say, right? Just be nice. Be some. You want love, well, be it and give it, and then see it when it's there and appreciate it. Be grateful for it. There's a lot of times that we're given love by people around us that perhaps we might not recognize. So there's a lot of things, so many layers, and it's why it's so crucial to be the love and the light and the anchor for everyone you possibly can. Yes, it can be draining or exhausting, but that's only when you engage with them energetically. You can engage with them in conversation, and in thought and in mind and even in some feeling, but again, don't get stuck staring at the flower, even if it's beautiful. It could be a beautiful, like, okay, a guy, a beautiful girl, but she's kind of low vibrational, so I don't know, like, we're gonna start talking, it's gonna feel nice, right? It's gonna be great, flower looks beautiful, but right, okay, I gotta go. But a lot of times we keep pursuing that, and then we get in other world systems, other dimensions, and that's what these things are. When two people come together, you create a new dimension in a sense, right? Because you're both now existing in your world, your together world, just the two of you. You're we, right? You're me bubbles, and then you made a we bubble. You're in the we dimension now. So what about that? Yeah, don't stay with the flower. Don't get stuck at the flower. You miss the wolves. He's saying you're sitting there smelling the flower and everyone else, but it don't matter because they can't. Yeah, and he's saying, yeah, no, that's right. He said, but they'll be looking at you, and so don't go there. You know, you say, you're in your love and light, smelling a flower, and you're like, hey, Mr. Wolf, what are you doing over there? Come on over. No, he doesn't want to have your best. You know what I mean? And again, you can still interact. You can still share stories. You can still share looks and energies with them, but if you're going to do that, you have to know yourself. You have to know your connection and be able to maintain that, no matter where you're at. And this they talk about, in the empathic, where it's be sensitive, or what is it? Give people your sympathy, not your empathy. More so, because of the empathy, then you're turning into their emotions. When you go too far into the empathy. But also, that's just a word. Empathy can be used very, positively, But again, as long as you know to kind of come back to the sympathy place where, in there's sort of it's a separation, it looks like, because you're separating yourself from them energetically, but we're all one, so shouldn't we be all coming together? And so what he's saying about that is, yes, but that's the whole point of why there's even different ascended masters or different angels or archangels, is because we are all able to house an individualized consciousness, so you don't have to worry that you're not helping someone else by being more empathic with them, or doing whatever, that you think that they need more, right? Or you see that they need more, and you give them maybe what they need, or maybe not necessarily what they want, but then they still want it. There's so many layers, and so knowing yourself so that you can protect yourself, because you're protecting yourself so that you can give love to people. You're not just, that's the selfishness versus service to others, service to self, and the misunderstanding with a lot of that is, you are serving other people when you take care of yourself, and then when you can offer more to people, your cup's overflowing and you can give to even more people, then that's even more amazing. I got chills. He's saying, give me chills right now. My whole body. Well, it's kind of down the back left. It's where he's always at. But I felt it in my legs that time. Now, that was nice. Whoa. Yikes. My back is sweating. I gotta take the Snuggie off. I knew I was gonna get hot. What else? Being there for people. Yeah, I talked about that a little bit. Holding the light for others. Another video. You gotta take care of yourself. Okay, so you see me that idea. Taking care of yourself and or others. Taking care of means taking care of. No matter what. It's not your responsibility to take care of everyone else. You already have a whole person that you need to take care of. They have a whole person that they need to take care of. And when we share and when we come together, we gain the information that we need in order to uplift ourselves, Totally. There's that point that you go from in this path where you I don't want to say you idolize, if you will, right? But you're looking up to all these spiritual, the Dalai Lama, and you're looking up to all these spiritual, wonderful, wise people, and then, but then if then you transition and you become that person. You become the wise person. You become someone, and you realize that you have a lot to share. And the more that we all share, and you realize it's not about how the people look, false idols, they say, or idolization, and again, that's, you can do that, but that's meant for play and for fun. As a child runs and says, I'm Batman, and then you say, oh, they're Batman, and then I'm not, or whatever you are, I don't know, he's gonna be Batman, and then, but you're all making it up, but you let it all go. Kids, they go home, they're done. They don't even know what they did at the they remember some of it at the recess, at the park, and not that they don't know, but they let it go. They forget about it. They move on because they're moving forward. What does every child or every pet, like I have, every baby pet want? They want excitement. They want to be uplifted, excited. So they don't even worry about all that other stuff. So there's a level of worrying about other people in the world, and then, but also again, sympathy and empathy. There's that level, and that's not always easy because we all have family, we all have friends, we all have, one's own individual journey is always unique to them, and no one per se is always necessarily at the same exact spot, because we're all so different. But we can all come to the library and the place of learning and learn together, and while we may not fully understand these concepts and things yet, that's why we're here, and we're going to, and we will formalize around them as we go. What else? I'm asking if he wants to go back to the crucifixion thing and how humanity is, now that he's dead is only now everybody cares, and okay, that's perfect. Okay, so he said idol. He just said idol. They were idolizing me. They are idolizing me now. Okay, wait, let me slow. They didn't idolize me then. Oh man, sorry. I snort sometimes when I laugh. I think it's funny. That's a good one. I like that. And some of them did. There were a lot of people, his disciples and people who were really learning from him, and his family, they all really, really supported him, and fortunately for him, his family sort of understood. They were sort of knew what was going on with him, and that he was sort of a special guy, a special boy, whatever at the time. So he did have a lot of loving support there. But in your world now, that is why there is exactly what this one had just been saying about how it's become, like, he's talking about the idolization, and things and stuff, and yeah, like the emperors, shiny things, shiny stuff, shiny Jesus flying in the sky. He can go anywhere he wants. The sky ain't nothing to him. Like, but it's all whatever level that someone, and we gotta use it. Can we use it? Because it's being used. That's okay. So he's saying it's probably best if we go away from that. I asked him if should we instead should we try to change that, or should we really try to just kind of let it fall away? And he kind of said it's probably gonna be easier. It's gonna be easier just on people and life and the planet and existence, not as traumatized or whatever, if we just, or not traumatizing, but to change what's already established versus just kind of stepping back, and just saying, wait, does this feel right? Whatever the books say, whatever this one says, whatever that one, fine. Does it feel right to me? Does it not does it sound right up here necessarily, right? You have to see how it feels. And again, that's, now he's going with connection and body system, and really just getting people, people need to get into their bodies. Your body is your antenna, is your message, is their message, is why you're here. And that's why you got to exercise too. It's all of it. It's, like, you can't, and again, okay, but people can channel still even if they don't actually, well, okay, right, but in that, okay, everyone's a channel, no matter who you are, no matter where you're at, no matter what you're doing, you're all channeling information, because information is energy, and so it's everywhere, and your bodies are fully capable of creating energy, because it's made of the same atoms and molecules that are in everything around you. So if you can look outside of you and say, well, how did that stuff get there? Well, why can't you do it too? As a being, right? As the being that you are. Not can I turn my finger into metal? I mean, like, okay, sure, maybe one day, but if I turn this piece into metal, what does that do to the rest of the bone that goes up? Isn't it supposed to blood go up and then come back? Like, that's going to change everything. So, a lot of this stuff you don't want to necessarily change so much and in such ways. And sure, there's a great freedom when you can just be whoever you want. You just, what is Fantastic Four, the flame guy? You just like go on fire and you just fly around. I mean, like, sure, like, and be totally protected. Yeah, these things are great. And all of this is, there are realms and dimensions where all this, where all this is real, and you can do all this stuff. But that's counteractive to the point of being here on Earth. Okay, had this insight with him earlier. That's, we say, why is it so tough? Why is it so heavy? Why is it so this? And then because, okay, so if you're awakening and you're ascending and you're getting lighter and you're giving more love, but then it's like, okay, so why are we still here? Why am I still kind of stuck in this world, in this earth? So if you think of the earth as like, this prison or whatever that we're stuck in, and no matter how much I try to love and ascend, I'm not getting out of here, because you're not supposed to leave. Your body chemistry is meant to be here, because here is where we need to restore the love and the balance of, kindness and love. So, I don't know. I didn't say that the way I wanted to, and not the way it came. It was like a really cool insight, where I was just like, because we're all, we all want to go, but no, we know, oh, and what I had asked them was, so to what level is it like, like how much do I got to work on myself to the point where how is this world outside of me affecting me? Like, you know, um, we all have to kind of work, right? And I didn't set that up from when I was a child. I didn't right? But again, you can't just, whine about it all in that sense, right? Like, it's tough and it's not, it's not going to be easy, but we can, and that's why you're here. No matter how far you ascend, and if anything, the more you ascend, the more love you give, the more here you're going to need to be. But it's understanding that multiverse. You're not limited. It does take time to manifest for very good reasons on your physical plane, but also for the reason because the connection is not fully there and fully restored. So it works hand in hand. The new earth, the world will all come as you come into it, because it is already here, but it is being created by you. So, yeah, because we are all one. We're all part of this. We all contribute. So yeah, I don't even know what time it is. My back is sweating. What do you say? I'm scrolling up. Hey, Jimmy. What's up, man? Oh my god, I just noticed coinciding with what I was journaling about. Oh, yeah, I read that one. Regarding senses in the body, I've noticed in certain circumstances I used to get angry and I would feel negative reactions in my body. Now when I'm confronted with situations, I don't get that. I don't the negative feelings anymore. Awesome. That's what he was talking about, realizing your mission so that you can stand in truth without being affected by lower vibrational ideas, etc. Exactly. And the one thing I've always said, all of the answers that we're giving and that we're doing, I say answers, it's like when I went through it for myself, I remember just cycling around, like, okay, oh, but why that? Okay, but why that? Oh, but, what do we do? And then we're always saying, go inside, meditate, what's the answer? You already know the answer. It's inside, right? And so then you go out into the world and then you figure all this stuff out about the world, and then you're trying to reconcile it with your mind and what you know in your heart and your soul and your brain and your mind, right? And then, so then you're like, well, what do I do? And then, go inside. So the answer is kind of always the same, but there's a bazillion different ways of getting our brain, and that is the logical system. If you can understand the logical system, you can literally predict what people are going to say, where they're going to go with it, but of course you have to know more about them too, in that sense, and you listen to their demeanor, you listen to how they're saying it, and you can know so much about a person just from those things. And this is the connection that we're establishing. These are the abilities that you're all developing where you can telepathy, you can communicate with telepathy, you can do these things, because you already can, but it's about learning how to do them. The practice. And in a world that doesn't practice, it's not going to be easy. But what's the answer? Go inside. Lori was reading yesterday about broadening our perspective on what love is, not just loving another person in a special relationship, but like he's saying, love is everywhere. Love the dog, love the sky, love the books you read, love walking, love meditating. Exactly. You got to love your life, period. And if you don't, then something needs to change, It doesn't mean anything bad has to happen, doesn't mean anything. It just means, and that's why they always say, just pull away from it. Just let it fade off, and it will. And that's not being disrespectful. That's just you following your love, and anybody else has a problem with that. That's you just look at them and go, hey, I love you. What's wrong? I don't know. You just said all that stuff, but I didn't, I was just smelling the rose or the flower. That's all I was doing. You guys are trying to, you know, figure out what I'm doing that's making me so happy right now. You know, it's because I'm just choosing it. I'm choosing, you know, and I had to do that moving in with, you know, my girlfriend. You know, tons of stuff. She's got tons of stuff. You know, and I don't want any of it. You know, so there's a period where I just like I felt suffocated, and until I went up to each, not each thing, but until I just walked around my home and said hi to her stuff, like literally, like, you know, well, in my mind mostly, but you know, and I nodded in peace and acceptance and love and appreciation that these are things that she enjoys. And, you know, you create a relationship with it, because even if it's not talking back to you, you're talking to it. So what you're saying to it is what you're going to think about it too, you know? So yeah, it's all connected. You know, make your life. You can always make your life as amazing as you ever want it to be, because you sit back and realize, you know what? Like, I'm here, right? I'm whatever years old you are. I've been thinking negatively about whatever for how long, and I'm still here. I'm still here. You know, I mean, we can talk about World War this. We can talk about what's going to go wrong and worry about, you know, but you're still here. So what are you going to do with the time, you know? And really, you know, sit back and just think for yourself, you know, just you know, look at your life and realize how much you actually love it all. How much, if it was all gone tomorrow, you know, even though you'd still be here, right? Um, you know, so appreciate it that's in your life, even though even though I feel overwhelmed sometimes, you know. So it is, and it's a big change to really embody that and be able to do that, and for others too. Hey, what's up, Jimmy? Thanks, man. Uh, I want to say something else that you said, Lori. Broadening your perspective on what love is. Okay, me and my girlfriend talked about this one time too, and it was sort of, you know, after an argument, if you will, you know, and so we were reconciling things, you know, and I just explained to her, you know, or, you know, we were just really like, you know, we've been through so much together, things, you know, so good, and yet we have these, and all of our arguments are really, it's all energetic, so it's really, you know, it's not like it's anything that we're really is wrong, you know, or anything, you know, like it's just our lives, and we're just trying to figure out how to make them work together, you know. So it's funny because we always come back, you know, and but I told her the one time, I'm trying to think of how we said it. I basically just said, you know, what greater love is there than the love that you can give someone that you hate, right? So yeah, so to what you said, you know, broadening our perspective on what love is, you know, we only want love in the sense of the Cinderella story and the happily ever after, you know, because that's, I mean, sure, who doesn't? But that is putting the idea that it's not that way, right? Or that it can only be achieved in that way, right? So it's really kind of, you know, and it kind of creates something there, you know. And what did I say? And so while it's probably not necessarily easy to just love someone that hates you and has been, you know, abusing you, let's say, like in serious cases, you know, your whole life. But again, you gotta move away. But look at what you're doing, right? If you can do that, you need to value the heck out of yourself, because not a lot of people can do that. I mean, there's people getting mad at road rage still, right? I mean, I still do it. I still have moments. Guy was there's one left turn lane, and he just like went into the median to make a left turn, and I was like right next to me, and I was just, you know, and you know, it's a reaction like, you know, okay, I'm gonna let him go first, you know, and I did, but it was just, or did I? I don't know. I just kind of, we just both hit the gas, and then I think he's in a truck, so I think, and I'm in a sedan, so I think I went ahead of him actually that time. But it's initial reaction where it's like, dude, like, what's going on? But then you have to just be like, you just kind of gotta, you know, you gotta love him. You gotta love him. You gotta be like, you know, because in that situation, you know, I'm sure he didn't know. Obviously, he didn't know. He, she, whoever, they didn't know, and weren't trying to like ruin everything, right? But we have that initial like, what the heck, you know, you're gonna kill everybody. No, he hasn't hurt anyone yet. Okay, so now that you're there and you see what's happening, wait, right? Which maybe is what I should have done, but there's actually, it's big enough for 2 lanes, so I just kind of went, and I was like seeing what was going to happen, so I don't know. But you know, thinking back, that's a great opportunity to be the light, to be the person, but know, like, be proud of who you are. I don't use the word pride, or you know what I mean, but you know, be empowered by that. You know, and that's what we're here to do. That's a metaphor for like this earth is coming here to love stuff, love it until it can't handle it no more. We're gonna love it so hard. We're gonna hug it. You know, it's like when you're hugging, saying don't want to be hugged. It's just like, no, you're staying with me because you can't handle this love. Look at that. Look at that. What is it? Love, and you can't even handle it, right? That's just whole nother layers, right? Oh, is that Lori hopped off? Okay, yeah. I hope that was to you, Lori. Hope she catch the rest on the replay there. Thanks for hanging out, Jimmy. What's up, man? I saw your live earlier, and I was getting ready for this one, and I've been busy all day. I was gonna hop on there. Love and Light News. Yeah, buddy, go for it, guys. I love what we're all doing here. I'm trying to check. Sorry, my any other things going on. All right. Yeah, I just wanted to address that with the post that I made, and Lori had asked, you know, and Tecumseh, thank you for coming, Tecumseh. Is there anything else Tecumseh would like to say? He's yelling, like he's singing in his Native American, you know, all that stuff. I'm gonna start doing light language here. I know it. I already do it personally. I'm gonna end up starting doing that soon, I think. And it sounds very Native American, so we got a connection there. Keep dancing. That's what he's saying. He's fully geared out right now. He's got his feathers, his everything, and he's having a blast, guys. Oh my gosh, look at the chills. I don't know if you see the chills up on my arms. They're coming up. Whew, Tecumseh, man, we gotta hang out, do something. I would love that too. Great energy. Very earth, very powerful, very fire. I feel like you're fire. But the Native American people alone, just very earth, very, very robust in their bodies. Yeah, he's like a fire, like an Aries or something. Okay. I'll have to talk with him a little later. But yeah, keep dancing, he says. Dance powerfully. Create your magic. Stomp your feet into the earth. Make the earth know you're here. Make her, because she wants to know she wants you to know you're here. She wants, you know, it's not like she doesn't know you're here, right? You know, he's saying, you know, be purposeful in your actions and know that you are as powerful as you can ever choose yourself to be. The only thing that tells you you're not is anything that you allow to be true. He was sort of saying it's what you tell yourself, you know, but then he was saying it's not what other people say. So all of that kind of go into that one there. You know, choose and realize that you, and even if he's saying, even if he gave me a picture of the lazy guy on the couch, even if you want to, you know, just have a lazy date, that's totally fine. But the reason why people feel problems is because they're doing it too much and their souls are telling them to do stuff, you know, to get up. That's why people feel they get in that depression mode. It's because you're not moving your chi. You don't feel like you're living in life. because you're sitting on the couch. So there's part of you that's your soul trying to pull your butt off the couch, right? But now your body might not feel like it. Well, it's time to wake, it's time to hang out with yourself. It's time to, that's what's going to be coming for a lot of people. A lot of people, illness, a lot of people, a lot of it is just their own creations. It's, like cancer. It's not a thing that, just exists and that it can just, run into anybody. And now, in that sense, okay, yes, it is. It's a being. It's an energy. It isn't, a thing in and of itself. But it's you are the creators. Be the creators. However you can. It's not about what you can't yet do. It's about what you can do. It's about what you can tell yourself. What you can tell other people that's going to make them, it's going to empower them, that's going to make them feel who they are and what's inside them. When these words that I'm speaking, he's speaking, these are just words, but there's an energy. What people who connect to this feel is the energy. They're not feeling just the word. The word's just a word. You're creating at all times. Be the creators that you are. And don't feel bad about creating anything. Because whether it's a bad thing or a good thing, if you feel bad about it, it doesn't matter what it is or what it did to people or whatever. You feel bad about it from the beginning. And of course, this goes into many layers of, that's a thin line to say something like that, right? But again, bad and good, right? But obviously, there's things that can hurt, others, and so he's not saying to create any of that type of stuff, but it's your creation, and that's and it's wonderful. He's giving me like a realization or relief, when you can sit on the couch, and someone comes in and says, "Oh, you're so lazy," and then you just go, yeah, it's me today. Yeah, I'm gonna be that guy. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Why? Because you're the center of your world. You decide, right? And so realizing your power, it's real. It's there. It's you. And it's everything, because it's everything in your life, and it's everything that you are. So he's saying dance strong, dance powerfully, dance for freedom. I'm about to cry. He's giving me his peoples, and he's saying you always got to fight for freedom. And not fight, but, if you ain't got no other options, the choice is yours either way. That's what they did. This is what they had to, they fought for it, And a lot of people are, in their own ways. But really make sure that you know what it is that you're fighting for. And ensure that what you're fighting for is actually worthy of fighting for. He's referencing many of the things that we do in our world where we just judge. We create little fights, all kinds of little silly, stupid things. And then people fight for it, He doesn't want to pick something because he doesn't want to rock any boats, So I will. Okay, I'll do that. No, I'm trying to think of stuff too and reference in my mind and my brain. It's like, okay, so for me it's like, okay, thanks, that was cool. Um, for me it's like how we have, the feminist movement or something, or we have, you know I don't know, I can only think of that one because it's really the, and then I guess LGBT, is it Q now, I want to say them all, but it's like, are you remembering the point, like how much fighting actually has to be done over that stuff to make people accept it, because the truth is no one, you can't force anyone to do anything, you can't. So it's very different what he knows now from the way his people even reacted to it, because they fought. But and that makes sense. They had guns, they had technology, and so they had to fight. They had to fight. That was a whole nother. That has nothing to do with like a political or whatever. What do we call it? I don't even know how you call that, political, societal, whatever. Because in the end, the point is the freedom. That's all anybody's asking for. Excuse me, Ken. Woo, man, he's strong. That Aries fire, boy. I don't know if it's Aries, but whatever constellation. We can talk about that later. Um, what's up? Of that. Oh, here we go. So, Lori ran off. Love that. If you can love the person you hate, then eventually any feelings of hate will disappear. Exactly, and that's that realization. It's you changing your mind about it. It really is, and that doesn't mean that necessarily that's going to make it all work out, right? But it's you free yourself. It's the greatest feeling ever. Hey, cool, man. Yeah, I really like doing it. It feels amazing. Dance, have some fun. Groove is in the heart. Yes, it is, babe. We're already there, man. We're dancing every night. We're hanging out in our dreams. You know it. All of us. Oh, man. All right. That was Tecumseh. That was awesome, man. You're a badass. Sorry. Cussing. It's not intended for children. I don't know. You have to do that on YouTube now. Sheesh. I'm like, I was talking about Jesus for kids. I don't know. Because now they make you say, is this video age required? Is it rated R, whatever? And then you'll have to have an account and log in, on YouTube for stuff. And I hear the garage door opening, so I'm about to get company. People are home. All right. I'll go. I'll see you guys later. Much love. Thanks for hopping on, Jimmy. Awesome. Good to see you, man. I totally did this like with an hour to just, I was just going to hop on, it was all impromptu. So nice to see you, bro. And Lori, thanks for the question. And you guys got more questions? I love them. It really lets me get into things better and, helps us all learn. So, much love, guys.